And welcome to the Dadvocacy podcast. This is Ryan.
And I'm Tristan.
And welcome to episode 13 of Season 2.
Sweet 13.
Dude, last week's episode was so flippin' good.
Shane was awesome. Shane.
I love that guy. And
I agree.
He's just a good dude. Man, he's such a good guy.
You feel super comfortable chatting with him. He's so approachable. He's just human. Like it's crazy, you know? Like
he doesn't pull punches, and I think that's where it's so easy to talk to him because he's like just going to tell you how it is.
Yeah.
And he called me like 2 or 3 days after the show, and he's like, "Hey man, thanks for having me on. It was such an honor to be on with you guys."
Dude, same here. And I'm like, no, dude. It was our honor. Trust us.
That's like
we've
been waiting to have you on for like over a year, and
we're nothing. We're not special. We're just a couple of dudes chilling out.
And he was just like, "Man, it was so great to talk to you, and I just want to come hang out with you guys." And I'm like,
done.
Open door, done.
Make it happen.
Let's make it happen because he's such a great guy. And so,
he was so
if you haven't listened to that episode, go listen to last week's episode because it is absolutely incredible.
Yep.
And there's a lot left in there. We're gonna have to do another.
It was so tough ending that one because I had more and I wanted to keep going. And I'm like, wait, we're going too long.
Like
we gotta
45.
Hold off a little bit. Honestly, man, I haven't even listened to it again. And usually I'm right on the money, but I'm like, I've just been so busy.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. So all the feedback that I've had from that episode has been amazing, and just myself listening to it, kind of like removing from like I don't even remember him saying that, and that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. There's so many little bits there.
Yeah.
Just thinking back on it. Oopsie, I'm sorry. I'm a bad person lately. I don't know what's going on. I'll fix it.
Your microphone?
Whatever.
You're good. You'll survive.
So
I won't touch mine. So.
Dude, cool thing you show up, and my son's working on my car. My baby.
I saw that.
My baby's working on my baby.
He was like waist deep in your trunk.
Yeah. he was up in there for sure. So he's been doing auto mechanics through whatever K-Tech courses, right?
Which is awesome. That's an amazing program.
Oh, dude, I mean, he's getting certified and all sorts of craziness, and he's being trusted to rebuild engines already.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hire him to do any work if ever needed done.
Dude, it's really cool. And he loves it, right? And so I taught him car stereo.
Sweet.
So he's been like...
He can make some decent side money just doing that.
Yeah. Well, he's been installing his stereo stuff. And I was like, homie, I don't have time to do mine. Can you swap my subs? Can we do this? I need it wired in parallel. I need a 2 ohm load on this. And then I was like, no, never mind. Dropped to 1 ohm. Let's have some fun with this, right? And so we've been going crazy. And that's what he was doing. And I'm like... He's working on the charger, and nobody works on the charger besides me. And I'm like, go ahead. You got this.
That was, that was pretty cool. Nice cup, by the way.
Oh, this little thing? No big deal.
Product placement.
There's a bullet in it. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin and Patriot Men Company.
And I really needed the cup today, too, which is the stupid part. I need water.
We got some extra goodies in there, too, that he gave to us. Shout out.
Dude, okay, first of all.
Yeah.
We were sniffing through it all. The new hipster repellent. The smell is like a million times better now.
It's awesome. It's super awesome.
It is. It's. I don't know what Justin
I don't know
did.
if it's a
he
different
tweaked the
batch
formula,
or if it's, but he tweaked the formula or whatever. But it's awesome.
It smells bomb, right?
Yeah.
And there was one for women that smells like Jamba Juice's razzmatazz. That's what I think anyway. I'm gonna say it again. Razzmatazz.
Yeah. The American Woman.
Yep.
That one's.
There's no A in that, by the way. American.
Like American. There's
we
no
like
A.
that, yeah.
And that one smells legit. It's super good.
It's really good, yeah.
So.
Hey, so it's March.
Also, shut up. If you go patriotmenco.com, put in our promo code DADVAC.
DADVOC.
Dadvoc.
That sounds kind of Dadvoc.
Dadvoc. Yeah, DADVOC. You get 10% off your order, and as always, if you spend over $50, you get that free shipping. If you live local in the North Idaho area, you can work with Justin, shoot him an email, and you can sometimes arrange. I don't want to promise a local pickup.
We got NutriShop, we got Anchored Coffee, we've got the place downtown, and NutriShop in Boise.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to wait,
Best Life CDA has their products downtown, so you can find your products there. If they're out or they're running low, whatever, you can jump on the website. You can always order from there. Get some of the swag too, like the t-shirts and hats and stuff like that. So,
and possibly this.
Yeah, the sweet brandy snifter, whatever. Yeah,
you could lick the bullet in the side if you want. You waiting for me to demonstrate?
No.
I'm not going to do it, okay? That's dirty.
Like
I'm not
Simmons.
that guy.
You're going to go Gene Simmons and like,
Got a full mouth.
yeah. But enter the promo code DADVOC for 10% off at Patriot Co. Men.
Patriot Men.
No, Patriot and Company. Yeah. He changed it.
Dude, I swear it's still Patriot Men.
Is it? I thought you could do Patriot and Company. We got to figure this out so we get it right if you're listening to us.
PatriotMen.com, look.
Okay, PatriotMen.com. But it's not just for men anymore.
Now your wifeys can enjoy it. Or your...
ladies, or your kids. If you have teenagers that smell like
see that?
junk.
Oh, yeah, that looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, with the green screen.
You totally can see what's going on. Oh, yeah. Let me... Holy smokes.
It's not legit.
Let's try it again. This way?
Okay.
That's even stupider looking, isn't it? Whatever. I'm trying, people.
You can go there. It's cool.
Get over there.
Yeah. PatriotMenco.com, but not just for men anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
All right. We're going to talk about your youth.
My youth?
Spring break.
Okay.
What did you do for spring break? First, let's address...
Never anything cool.
I mean, like, spring break is full of a bunch of young kids. And if you're a parent sending your 16, 17-year-old off to spring break in some other country or
I did
whatever.
I did a couple mission trips in my youth group, but I didn't go to another country.
Ryan, mission trips are not spring break. Spring break is debauchery.
Oh, yeah.
And drinking.
Go to Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
All right. So, story real quick. Side note.
Please, yes.
Working for the company you currently work for.
All right.
My training was just outside of Orlando, Florida, in the first week of April.
Really? You had training there?
Yeah, it was in Lake Mary, Florida, which was 37 minutes from Daytona.
Why didn't I get training there?
Because this company wanted to save money. They stopped sending everybody there. And probably for the same reasons that...
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool, actually.
So it was cool. It was like, but the craziness about it was that, like, I'm a married guy going to Daytona Beach during spring break, essentially. It was me and another married guy and another gal from our office that was also married.
Oh, my gosh.
And so we're sitting there like the squarest people on the planet, like Atlantic Ocean, and everybody's just like, it was madness around us, but it was like the first time I'd ever seen the Atlantic Ocean too.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was fun. We ended up like just going and having lunch and then driving back to like Orlando. But yeah,
that's way cool.
It was pretty rad though. So like I've been to spring break in Daytona Beach and it is insanity.
I just like I don't understand parents that would send like a 16 or 17-year-old there.
Why?
Why would you send your kids there?
Why would you send your kid? I saw like graduation presents. Parents were sending their kids to Mexico.
That's so weird. Like that is so weird to me. I mean, okay, if they're 18, I get it. They're gonna go do what they're gonna do. But a 16 or 17-year-old, even if it's like almost a local spring break thing, right?
Yeah.
What do you expect the kids to be doing?
I'm gonna send my kid to Havasu.
Like, I know what I would do if I was a kid at that age and just the freedom to go effing crazy.
I wouldn't trust my kid enough to do that. Like, I mean,
don't know
even
if
if they're a great
right
kid,
now.
yeah, like even if they're a great kid.
Even me as an adult. Like, I'll be honest. You're gonna
I'm
send me
just trying to
some
imagine
craziness?
like you sending Christian down there.
He'd be like, my girlfriend, I'm gonna talk to her on the phone right now. Just leave me alone.
Guys, hold on, stop the party so I can talk to my girlfriend.
Yeah. And Dylan would be the same thing.
Keep the music down. Keep the drinking to a minimum. I don't want my girlfriend to think I'm doing anything wrong.
That reminds me of the frat daddy time. My kids are pretty good.
Yeah,
they
are. They would be the boringest, but it's a good thing, right?
And in a really good way. Like, no, I mean, I think they'd be okay, honestly. Christian can throw down if he wants to. Like, I offer him when I have something to drink. If it's like I had a Bahama Mama the other day. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful in my Bahama Mama with the umbrella top and sipping it. It was delicious.
Shirley Temples.
I'm very manly. Shut up. I'm a Red Robin.
Can I have a Roy Rogers?
So, I went to Red Robin the other day and I was like, yeah, I want this, I don't know what it was. It was some fruity drink. And I'm like, just make sure there's an umbrella on top. And she looks at me like, what? And I'm like, yeah.
I want a piece of pineapple.
Give me
and a cherry on that umbrella.
But I always let my kids try stuff like that because I'm like, hey, I don't want you to think that like alcohol is this horribly awful thing because it's not. But I don't want you to go crazy with it either. I want you to respect it, just like guns, So Here, try this.
Moderation.
Try a Red's apple cider.
Yeah.
Delicious or not, right?
Yeah, I mean, the earlier you could teach your child, I think, if you're
Speaking
in
of,
that
do you want
culture. No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm great.
I totally
Thank
feel
you.
like we should be like cigars and we're
pouring-
water people.
Pouring with my water.
We're like Kevin Costner in that bad movie.
I haven't drank since
Water
July.
World. I know. I remember.
I'm doing good,
And
I'm not even an alcoholic. It's just I don't drink
just-
anymore.
every once in a while, I want like a nice cider. I like ciders, dude.
I would rather. I'm telling you right now, I would take a really good cup of coffee over alcoholic beverage any day.
Depends on the time of night.
I like coffee at night.
It's going to be a decaf at night because that puts me to sleep. I don't know why.
I don't want to rag on a local business, but I wanted to like do them a solid and try their product, a new roaster, and they had a decaf that smelled amazing.
It didn't roast
I
properly.
made the coffee and it is just bean water. It's so disappointing because it smells so ridiculously good, like amazing, and the coffee is just.
You like French pressing it, or what are you doing?
I've tried it all. I've done pour over, French press, brew it in the machine, everything.
Do you think they just like there's no? I wonder what kind of extra.
I don't know in the process what they did, but it's just weak, and I think it's just the quality of the bean.
Dude, I mean, you pay for what you get.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
So yeah, it was the downside. I won't give their name because I want them to be successful, but it was not great.
Right? Well, and that's the nice thing about capitalism. If you're not a good product, you don't last.
Yeah.
If you're a good product, you do last.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like it just.
Like Union has done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the roasts are awesome.
Yeah.
They're expensive. I like Doma. I love Doma, dude.
I know
I'm a
you do. You
Doma
really
guy.
love Doma, yeah.
And they're just right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I go there all the time.
Well, in your new place, Milk and Honey
Yeah.
is right down my road.
I love Milk and Honey. Too.
I know you do a lot.
The owner is a super rad lady, by the way. So she's listened to our podcast too.
That's really cool.
So
So
go ahead. Sorry.
do you send your kids to spring break and let them go insane?
No, because I'm a responsible parent.
Do you feel like the advent of these like crazy reality TV shows with these super rich moms that are like, oh, go have fun, sweetie, are making more parents go, oh yeah, you should do that too? I saw it on TV.
Maybe. I think this is what it is. Everybody wants to be a flippin' influencer. And I'm going to be an influencer by going to Lake Havasu for spring break at 17 years old. And I'm going to do
Selfie time. You're like,
selfies and Snapchats and all of my stories on Instagram. And you can follow my reels and you'll see me just living the best life.
my best life.
My eyes almost got stuck in the back of my head.
Oh, I mean, you see it so often. Our best life.
Oh, dude.
You mean what you're showing us on Instagram and whatever. It's not your best life, I promise.
Yeah. It's like your credit card, Dad.
Yeah. Adventuring, going out hiking, cool. I can see that. I mean, like watching our buddy Jay and his crazy adventures and his bicycling and all that.
Dude, that photo he had of like the frozen lake the other night was
super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally cool, right? And I'm like, that homie's living it. That's really cool.
Yeah. And he's staying in his backyard. I mean, it's not like he's taking any trips that are like crazy.
He's not going insane, yeah.
And I mean, that's the stuff that I want to do. Like this summer, I'm going to check off a bucket list again, and I'm going to go back to Stanley, Idaho this summer.
Dude, I'm really thinking that this summer I'm going to buy a bicycle so I don't have to spend money on gas.
I got a nice one. We can ride. We can go for rides.
Nice.
We can do the Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes.
I'll jack my son's, what is it? It's not called big guys. What are they called now? They're like little...
Fat tires?
No, the freaking little motorized, the motorcycle ones, but they're
the
old
pit
school.
bikes?
They're like freaking...
Little
yeah,
pit
but
bike?
it's the big one, though, for like off-roading that you see at like farms and crap back in the day.
Oh, okay. The big wheel, like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like a
Fat
big-
boy or whatever
like
you
a
want to
big
call it.
red?
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that'll be me. If you see some dude...
Me and you
that's
on the
too
back
big
like
for it,
Harry and Lloyd.
dude, it's gonna be that's how it's gonna be if it keeps
Trade
going
the
this way.
van for this hog. 70 miles a gallon.
I'm gonna go to Walmart in the back of the thing shopping. I have the bags
Dude,
attached to me.
I had a 50cc scooter, and that is like, of all the vehicles that I've owned, that might be one of the ones I regret getting rid of the most.
I totally thought about buying one.
Oh, I loved it. It was a Honda Aero 50.
That's so cool.
And it was like straight out of 1985. It was black and red with like neon blue and neon purple. Like, oh, dude, it was so cool.
That's amazing.
And it had like hardly any miles on it, too. It was like barely used. It was like brand new.
I did. I think that
bomb around on that. I love that thing.
The further we go, the more we're going to see people on Vespas.
Oh, for sure.
Right, and all sorts of scooters.
I'm going to get a street kit. I've got a 200 XR200 sitting behind my house, like my dirt bike.
That's cool.
I haven't ridden it in like 6 years. I'm buying a road kit.
Yeah, do it.
It's like,
I'm going
to get it running again and put a road kit on it so I can save gas.
It's crazy how expensive we're seeing it.
In a week.
Yeah.
$1. A dollar increase in 1
insane.
week. I paid $3.22 on Wednesday last week. And it is $4.29 right over here by the freeway.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
At the Shell, I think is what it is.
Yeah, it's insanity.
Yeah. Driving me insane. What do we do, though?
We can complain, but I mean, we could probably fix this problem pretty easily, but it would take
I feel like.
Yeah.
So, there is lots of talk about the people like say, open a Keystone Pipeline. Well, the Keystone Pipeline is open. The Keystone XL is not. No. And that's where we could do it. And they talk about, okay, so I'm just going to say real fast. Jen Psaki said there was like 9,000 permits. Permits don't mean drilling. It means they tried, and it's either dry or it's good, and they have to keep continuing.
And they're not just, they're mineral permits, right?
Mm-hmm.
That also includes cobalt. That includes lithium. That includes mineral extractions like silver and gold.
Well, and I mean, there was, and as soon as he got in office, he said, no more drilling on federal land, no more drilling in this and this and this. And you're like, wait, you just cut off all the big sources.
She said leases, not permits.
So
we have 9,000 leases standing. Do you know how many permits have been given for drilling gas since you know who took office?
No, I don't think any.
It's in the hundreds.
Yeah.
It's like one or
and I mean,
two.
Even
it's
if
like
you have
one
a lease,
or 200.
So you get the lease and then you go, here's the land, but that doesn't mean the land's going to give you anything.
Yeah. And
that
it
means you're
doesn't
just
mean
guessing.
the federal government's going to give you the permit to drill.
Yeah.
So
gosh,
we're in
How
deep.
come regular dudes like us can figure this crap out?
Because
we're not very smart.
We got
Let's be real.
But I got something between my brain, like there's something in there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to the tennis ball bouncing around in the president's head. I'm sorry, like hassle frazzle.
So much to say.
I have more than.
Do we want a conspiracy theory for a second?
I like conspiracy theories because they always end up being true.
So what if? Let's talk Putin.
Putin on the Ritz.
Putin on the Ritz. Putin in the time. Holy jeez. Let's talk the Putin.
The Putin tang.
He's doing his Putin tang.
The Jello Putin pops.
That's hilarious. I love it. All right, so okay. Here's conspiracy. I'm just going to lay it out for you.
Okay.
Putin has said he's going in to take out child slavery and kidnapping and biolabs.
Putin sucks as a human.
Absolutely. Very, very smart guy. Sucks as a person. He's the wife beater everybody loves because they don't see him at home.
That's true.
That's how I describe him.
His country even does not like him, but they're scared to death of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's drunk dad coming home at midnight and you're staying silent in your room.
When you're ex-KGB and you know how to murder everybody.
And you murdered everybody to become...
Let's be honest.
The leader of Russia?
The guy's a badass. Yes. Doesn't make him a good person.
No, he's like the guy that was going after... He's like the guy that goes after Jason Bourne.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Jason Bourne's a good guy. He's our hero. Then you've got the other dude.
And then I look at Zelensky, like... I'll keep mine.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's corruption involved, everybody. Guess what? Eastern Europe has corruption. Surprise.
Yeah. Who knew? And who knew that this crazy place that has had so many ties to all sorts of crazy bad things is getting impacted. But we've got
our country that's been involved but not been involved is now having financial fallout from this.
Weird. And we're not opening our own surpluses to... We're going to Venezuela now. Another super corrupt country.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know what's happening anyway.
And Iran. We're making another deal with Iran too.
Are we just doing the same crap over and over again? Why are we doing that? It doesn't make any sense. But we know that, crazy things are happening and we haven't seen any footage. And there are some Ukrainians that are saying, oh no, everything's fine. And
some of the footage we've seen, we've found out that's been doctored.
There's so much, dude. A video game company sued the news because they were using video.
Activision sued NBC News.
How crazy is it that they're using video game footage. And the fighter of Kiev or whatever his name was, he's not even real.
And the guys that gave the rush of the finger actually surrendered. Like,
and are being well taken care of.
Yeah.
Let's being well taken care of. This is a totally different story. It's not what we're getting. And so, like, with everything we've seen over the past, I don't know how long, how do we trust what we're being told? Me being military, I don't trust any of it.
I trust none of it that I see. And
Zero.
from anywhere. There's such a blackout on this that I'm like, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself.
So
I really will. Do I think there's people that could be being hurt? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is it what we're being told it is? I don't think at all.
They reported today. So we found out 41 million people live in Ukraine, right?
Yep.
Do you know how many people have been killed so far that they've reported?
How many?
549.
That's it?
That's what I said. I'm like, this is a war? And you have 549 casualties.
And then we have guys that are like, oh, we're going to go fight for what's his face. And the president is not in, I mean, the images of him in his gear, military gear, was from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Doing a practice op.
And the other day he did a press conference. They found out that it was from his own office.
Weird.
And then there was stuff that was of Putin talking, and he was in the same suit, but it was like literally same suit, same watch, and it was within an hour of the previous recording, but it was released 5 days later. There's stuff that I'm like looking at this, I'm like, I don't need to go conspiracy theories.
Just not making sense.
We went through it with Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not over being pissed off at that.
Yeah.
We went through it. We saw it with COVID. We saw it with the election. We saw it with the going after the of Donald Trump's, like, and I'm not defending Trump at all because I think Trump, like, personally as a guy, I don't like him. I think leadership wise, as far as
I don't know him, so I'm not going to say anything.
I know policies. There was things I agree with.
His kids though are amazing people. Yeah. I know people that actually spent time with his kids, and they're the most humble, down to earth. And I think, okay, well, that was probably more Ivanka because she was around raising them, right? But your dad's this other person. I wonder who he is behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I got to gauge you based on your kids, and if that's the truth, then
yeah. And I've heard people say like the Trump's
well, I mean, and he was
good guy.
Everybody said he was a good guy until he ran.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Everybody loved him until he ran.
And then now they're trying to, and I know that the media wants to vilify him to make him look like a crazy person. And you know, I hope that he wins again? No, I don't. That's just my opinion.
I
think there's too much craziness that would be attached to that it would almost be a detriment to what would happen to us as a country.
See, I'm not sure, honestly. And just point blank, I feel like he did some really great things.
He did.
Really,
and
those things
for
need to be
special
happening,
education. Yeah. He did some amazing things for special education.
I mean, for literally everybody. Yeah. And I hate how everybody's like, oh, we didn't do anything. And you're like, no, dude, all you got to do is look. It's very, very clear. It's easy enough. But
the vitriol and everything, it's like when I say you can
when
see
you
you're a
vilify
marked
somebody
man.
so much, though.
Yeah, you're a marked man.
Yeah, and you're screwed at that point.
He could come back and have the cure for cancer, and he would still be who he was. And I'm going to take on the swamp, right? Mm-hmm. That was his whole thing he stood on. I know we're turning into a little bit of a political podcast right now, but like I'm a conservatarian, right? I have conservative values, but I want to be left the crap alone.
Yep. I think that's part of the issue with the Conservative Party is that, we went left alone, so we're not standing up screaming at everything with our tits hanging out.
Yeah, and I don't want to be the one that's in somebody's face telling them that they're wrong or whatever. There's things that I look at and it's like, no, if you would just like step back from like watching TV, look at the facts of what's coming out, like we would understand a lot of things a lot more.
Yeah.
And I hate is that we can't have conversations. I hate that we're so freaking divided that I can't be sitting, like I would say this in front of my liberal friends and be like, let's have a talk. Like, let's talk this out. Like you want to go on somebody ready to go.
But have a civil conversation.
But we can't. That's the problem I hate with our country right now is we can't.
This is the problem with relationships too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so hard to just have a conversation with your partner.
Especially, and look at who's feeding the conversation behind the scenes, right? You look at the politics, it's fed by the media. If it's in a relationship where you have like conflict between two parties, you could have those friends behind the scenes that are pushing that narrative of like, nope, he's a piece of junk, whatever, or like she sucks.
Oh, that totally,
and
that's exactly right.
It's exactly what's going on both sides.
Yeah. The crazy thing is that one more piece on the Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
When the Soros family gets behind us and says, hey, we've got to help these people.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Lost me.
Done.
You lost me.
Sorry. Yes, I feel for the people of Ukraine. Absolutely. The common people and us.
It's amazing that like we go through COVID, all of a sudden now Ukraine happens. COVID's magically gone.
Well, no, COVID ends on March 11th at 11:59 p.m. in Oregon.
Yeah. The emergency order stops.
Why would you just choose that?
Because we're going to start World War III.
Why would you just choose that relative random time?
Because that's
I don't
that's
understand.
when World War III starts.
I don't understand. It's weird. So
I'd say that jokingly, but it could be possibly
who knows?
taking
Yeah,
place. Who knows?
I just this is just we're sitting in a weird, unprecedented time where you can't trust literally anything because from what I was reading, there was a point where the news media had to be truthful and honest, and now they've been switched to entertainment, so they can say whatever they want and get away with it, and not be sued anymore.
It's opinion. News has become less fact, more opinion.
Well, it's not even news anymore. You're like,
it's reading an editorial. That's essentially what. I mean, if you read editorials in the newspaper, people used to just think of it because that was somebody's opinion. I'm going to read what they think about this.
Yeah.
Now people view that as front page news. And I'm like, no, it's still an editorial.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
My lips are chapped.
I put chapstick on before I came to.
Well, I'm not getting your chapstick then, am I?
No, it's in the car.
Stay on your side.
Plus, I'm staying hydrated.
That's very good for you. Yeah. There's so much down.
There's so much going on over there that I'm like refusing to just like, I'm not going to put a flag filter for Ukraine on my Facebook page. I'm going to pray for our world because I'm looking at things going on and like,
well, that's what we need.
It sucks, man. Like we are in a tight spot everywhere.
What if March 12th, the aliens come? I mean, what? Like, I mean, like
Mulder and Scully show up out of nowhere.
Mulder
and Scully become the new Anthony Fauci.
Where did he go? Have you seen anything from it?
The science is gone.
Like a month?
Yeah, the science is gone.
But I haven't heard anything.
Has anybody checked? Was he in Ukraine?
Is he?
Is he in Russia?
Did he get Clintoned?
Tony Fauci is gone. We need to put him on a milk carton.
Yeah, like.
Where is he?
Legit, I haven't heard anything from him.
I mean, I don't know but where? Because COVID's gone.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Shocking.
Yeah. It's not like we didn't call this a long time ago. So,
the long list.
We'll talk about something like for real for a second, I guess.
Besides complaining about gas and news.
Yeah.
This episode should just be get off my lawn.
This really is what I think we're going to call it that. Two dudes with shotguns in the front porch. That's
couple of Clint Eastwoods.
We should go get a couple guns and put them right here. That's who we are today.
Gran Torino. Like,
that was such a good movie.
Don't eat my
Speaking
dog.
Speaking of movies, dude. Come on. Have you seen the new Batman yet? No, you haven't, obviously.
No.
I don't even know why I ask you those questions. I haven't either. Can somebody who's seen the movie please hop on our page and tell us if it's good?
Funny story about the Batman premiere after party.
Tell me.
It was held at Pete Davidson's bar.
Okay.
And the star actor, I can't remember his name.
Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson requested, because it was his party at Pete Davidson's bar, guess whose music played all night long?
Tell me it was ABBA.
It was Kanye.
Robert Pattinson, you're a Kanye fan?
He played Kanye's music in Pete Davidson's bar for an entire evening.
Does that make me
like...
The
troll level on that is amazing.
Does that make me like Robert Pattinson more?
You're trolling so hard. I love it.
Okay, let's talk sex appeal.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
He's a handsome fellow.
I thought he was handsome in Harry Potter. When we first got him, and I was like, oh, he played a character I liked that character. I wanted more of that character. And then he went to Twilight, I think. Or at least that's where I saw him next. And in Twilight, the brooding teenage angst of a sparkly vampire did nothing for him.
Taylor Lautner overshadowed Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, but Taylor Lautner's the man. I mean, freaking, again, we can talk ridiculous six. But really.
He should have gotten an Oscar for that movie.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And I can't help but love it every single time.
I know it's the stupidest, but it's such a good movie.
And you've got, I feel bad though. Taylor picked up Ridiculous 6 and Pattinson's Batman. I feel bad. Like,
but who's the more handsome one? You got to know that Taylor
has an English accent.
Taylor mopped up though from the Twilight series.
Yeah. But I feel like he was robbed.
Taylor
was robbed.
He'll be back in something.
Well, he was back in something after that. He had a starring role. Dude, yeah. Taylor was freaking Shark Boy.
I still can't think of him as anybody else but the guy in Ridiculous 6.
So good.
Hey, Mo.
Taylor was Shark Boy.
Did he have like a third nipple too?
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Gosh, that movie. Adam Sandler, thank you for that. I mean, from the bottom of my heart.
Sex appeal, though.
Yeah, sex appeal. Pattinson does nothing for me. Like, I want to think back to...
You're also a guy, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm okay seeing a dude's attractive.
I know, but like, I don't know if we'd have the same...
Statham?
See, like, do you think he's handsome? Like, do you think he's attractive?
Well, I think he's very much got sex appeal. I can absolutely see that.
It's dangerous.
He is.
Or what's the guy that's in the latest Bond?
I don't know. Who is the latest Bond?
He was still Bond. They haven't announced.
I think Ryan Reynolds is a very attractive dude. Also,
say the Ryan Reynolds is
come on, every dude's man crush.
Chris Pratt.
He's got. Okay, so Ryan Reynolds has handsome and debonair, and he can do all that. Pratt is like all American guy. All American.
He's like the dad picking up his kids at school.
That everybody's like, oh, but yeah. he just reeks. He's all American dude. He's that guy.
Go shoot some guns with him.
Pratt's cool like that, and he doesn't like come off. He's got like those boyish good looks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ryan, I don't. He's a sexy motherfucker. Guy.
Did you blur?
I bleeped out the U, but I had the CK in there. It wasn't as good.
It was pretty close.
I know. I made it close because it's a Ryan.
Okay, but Ryan Reynolds, Ant-Man.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds, Ant-Man, or
Van Wilder.
He wasn't an Ant-Man though.
Or not an Ant-Man. Sorry, Deadpool. Sorry.
Yeah, but he was a crispy Deadpool. He looked like he.
Okay, fine. Then Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy. Ryan Reynolds, Van Wilder.
Okay, so we got young Ryan Reynolds. We have current Ryan Reynolds. Oh, Ryan Reynolds, Just Friends.
I like older Ryan Reynolds. I think he's the Jennifer Aniston of male actors.
His tits did hold up very well. You're right.
No, he's getting, I think as he's aged, he's gotten more attractive as a guy.
He's a very, okay. So the Adam Project comes out on Netflix very soon.
I saw that.
And I'm excited.
Is that the one where like he goes back in time to find his self, or his
younger self or whatever? Yeah. I don't even know the premise, but I saw it and I'm like, oh, cool. I can't wait to watch this. It's Ryan Reynolds.
It looks interesting, but it looks like the reverse of Tomorrow War.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Tomorrow War is a great movie, by the way.
I want both those guys together. They're
Chris Pratt and Ryan
crazy,
Reynolds
would
together
be entertaining as all hell.
That would be like, yeah.
Dude, just a no
throw
script.
No script. Okay.
Small script, suggested.
And Nick Offerman play dad.
That'd be so much fun, dude. Oh my gosh, that'd be fun. I would want
Dak Shepard being the weird brother.
Well, okay, so if you have those guys, though, I would want...
We're like building, this is like our draft.
I want Christopher Walken in it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Only because I love the way he delivers it. So Christopher Walken...
weird grandpa.
Freaking, what's his face? Stifler.
Oh, gosh. I know. I can't.
One of my favorite
Sean
movies...
William Scott?
Yeah, one of my favorite movies is The Rundown.
Okay.
With The Rock.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken and Sean William Scott. And the way Christopher Walken delivers it, freaking amazing.
I love Christopher Walken.
I love his version of comedy because you're like, oh my gosh.
In Joe Dirt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good.
That car.
That's I don't think you should be talking to him the way you're talking to him right now.
Talking to me right now.
What
are you doing?
He's like mafia.
Hi.
Oh, he's so good. I love him. I don't know, man. This is a random episode.
Christopher Walken. And then throw in, what's the, I don't know if he's still alive or not. Oh, gosh. He was in Secondhand Lions. He's one of the old guys.
Oh, I love both those guys. I love that freaking...
That movie's great.
Dude, I can watch it over and over again.
I love that movie.
So good.
It's one of those movies, that unsung movie that was bomb.
I mean, it's just... any day of the week, if you're like, I don't know what to watch, you can throw it on and still enjoy it. It's just that way.
Michael Caine.
There you go.
Michael Caine.
Yep. Great voice, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his English swag is... Oh, it's so good. But I say all these actors in the show with their normal voices.
Then you'd have to include, like, Morgan Freeman would have to be in it, too.
Did you watch... So I finally watched the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Hitman's Bodyguard?
I've seen that, right?
Okay.
There's a number 2.
I haven't seen the other one.
Okay, number 2. Hitman's Bodyguard's wife. And I'm going to ruin it for you. But we meet Ryan Reynolds' character's dad.
Okay.
And it's not Morgan Freeman. I'm going to hate it's the other dude. I don't remember his name. I feel like a horrible person.
The other dude from what?
He's another very famous black actor.
Sidney Poitier?
Is it Samuel L?
Samuel Jackson?
Wait, did Samuel was Darius. Wait, it was Morgan Freeman. Plays his dad. Plays Ryan Reynolds' dad.
Yeah.
Dude,
you need to apologize for that one.
I really do apologize. I'm so sorry. I should have. No, I know what's wrong with me. My brain's not working today. But no, like really, it was freaking hilarious seeing that scene happen. But there's so much kind of goofy whatever that I'm like, it wasn't as good as the first one.
Okay.
Hilarious, funny, yes, but expect more stupid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you include Steve Carell in that movie that we're creating?
Steve Carell will never not be. Was it Bran?
Michael Scott?
No. Oh. The dude from Ron Burgundy, from Anchorman.
Oh, Brick Tamlin?
Yeah. That, to me, is the greatest.
I love Lamp.
I'm
Ron Burgundy?
Loud noises. Look.
I found a grenade.
That was weird. Where'd you get a grenade from? I don't know how you did that.
Brick killed a guy. I threw a trident.
Number 2 was not great.
No.
Not great. But I guess hilarious if you consider the fact that when they had it on cruise control and they thought it would just drive itself, people thought cruise control did that back in the day.
That's true.
That was a real thought process, and I guess accidents happened. Yeah.
I'm riding a furry tractor.
Dude, so weird. Those shows are great. I don't know. I'm a weird dude, though. I like that.
What is love? What is that, Ron?
So...
I'm gonna bust into song.
Let's...
Singing Afternoon Delight.
How do you feel about love after divorce? There's a hair.
That's how you feel about it?
Yeah, it is. Because it's like, think about this. 9 months later, you're still pulling hairs out of your crack that were hers.
What?
You ever wake up with a hair just wrapped around your business?
No.
Never?
No.
Never, not even once?
No.
Weird. I find hair everywhere.
I don't have hair in my living room.
Well, no, like as a married person, you wake up with hair just in the weirdest spots because I guess their hair falls out of their head and creeps down like a worm.
Sometimes you wash your clothes and it would be in your clothes. But...
Yeah, but I'm like randomly like, oh, I'm scratching. I'm like, what is the hell am I pulling out of my...
itching my lip.
Dude, I don't know how... Women's hair is magic. Maybe that's why it costs $250 to get cut.
Seriously, dude. I found that out the other day. I'm like, how much do you pay for a haircut?
I'm like, damn, come on, I'll do it
I
myself.
never knew. Like, I was like, give me, I got some clippers. I'm gonna order a Flow.
I feel like...
You want to order a Flowbee?
For a dude? Yeah, seriously. But for a dude, if it's more than $20, I'm out. Sorry.
I pay 25. That's been 20 to 25 is like about standard what you find.
What do you get for 20 to $5? Like
this?
If I'm not getting
what I got today,
if I'm not getting a drink, if I'm not getting a warm face wrap and all that for the 25 a year, I mean
a decent fade, get a washout.
I don't
know. Like, but also my friend Danica does hair, and I think it's like $15, and she's legit too. So she has a salon in her house.
I'm just
folks, if you need a haircut, let me know.
And how many dudes are getting more than a clipper cut? I know you're getting clippers though.
It's still clippers. I get finger length on top.
Yeah, but beyond that, I mean, so the majority of the job though is bringing your hair.
Just a lot of clipper, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to ask Brittany because she's doing hair.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, find out. Yeah. I can't. I'm just trying to justify it. I don't understand how do you justify the cost?
Time?
Because you're sitting there reading magazines waiting for it to set?
I don't know.
To me, you're just sitting there doing nothing. Why are you paying for that?
Well, how many people have gotten a haircut and like you're sitting waiting for something women-wise? I mean, I've seen this at salons. Yep. A woman's getting the stylist or the gal cutting is doing two different hairs at the same time because one's setting, one's getting cut, and then she gets her ready. Then the other one's done, gets her out. They switch spots. She does the other one.
Just made 500 bones. But I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I'd be like, well,
capitalism, brother.
I'd be like, oh, you're gonna charge me for sitting here? I'll go walk around the mall for a little bit. Ain't no big deal.
I'm still like thinking like I need to open a haircut oil change place.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'd pay for that.
It'd be bomb, right?
Yeah.
It would be legit.
What do wait times would be like?
Same. I bet you. Yeah, be close. As soon as your car goes in, you're in for your haircut. By the time you're done, your car is done.
I like it.
Right? That's a pretty good idea, right?
Lube, oil, and cut.
What would he call that? What would he name it?
These nuts barber. And you'd have a nut, an actual like nut.
Oh, like the and a wrench, yeah.
Yeah, dude, right?
Plugs and plugs, like oil drain plugs and then hair plugs.
Dude, plugs and plugs does not sound like a place we want to go. Bend over. No.
Nope.
Let's not call it that.
Nope.
We have really deviated today from having real conversation.
Well, I think last week we had such a like heavy load. It's like we kind of need something like mentally kind of.
Yeah. Hey, so I got my septic pumped. I'm on septic.
I know.
And
were you walking okay afterwards?
Oh yeah. They used the big hose. I got it in there.
Lots of suction.
It was fast though. I was surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long for them to suck your septic. I grew up. We had a septic tank.
Yeah, it was my first experience. I'm like, all right, cool.
Once every how long have you lived here?
4 years.
Yeah, you do. Well, I mean, it may take a couple of years to fill.
He was like, dude, you can wait 5 on this one. Yeah. He was like, you have plenty of room. Everything looked good. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Just make sure every once in a while you throw like the little tablet thing down the. I used to do it like every 3 months.
I do a lot more often than that. I'm like, kind of like every 2 months ish, but I use a 3 month thing. Yeah, because I mean, realistically, there's a lot of duty happening in my house.
Yeah, you got boys and then laundry,
all sorts of crap going on. And the main thing what was neat was finding out that like the laundry and the water stuff didn't matter a whole lot because it goes out the leach lines.
Yeah,
unless it's frozen or raining, right? Okay, beyond that, the duty just hangs out and then breaks down and turns into sludge. Which is weird.
Did you know that you're like 60% of your poop is not waste? It's not like food digested. More than half of your poop is bacteria. Or
really?
Yeah, like it's that sludge, but here.
Oh.
Poop is weird. Your body does a great job at breaking it down.
Yeah,
because if you think about it, like digesting your food with stomach acid, it is straight liquid, and a lot of the organic material is absorbed as far as nutrients.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you're left with very minimal carbon byproduct.
I'm very intrigued right now. Actually,
look it up.
Thinking it through here.
You ever see the guy that does like the TikToks and videos? He's like, listen.
Maybe
like the random guy that usually has his hat on backwards. He's like a middle-aged dad type. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a thing about poop too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah, who knew?
Did you know?
Dadvocacy. We are teaching you things today.
Poop is 60% bacteria. Now you know.
That's really, really cool.
I was like, But it's also really gross to think about now.
Yeah.
Well, poop is gross anyways, but
it's healthy. Just don't do it on my chest.
Gross.
I'm not into that. Sorry, Ryan. There are people that are into that.
Cleveland steamer.
What kind of nasty, just, oh my.
Then they named it. They named it after the right city, though, because that city sucks.
I know people that are into that.
Grody.
Grody.
Yuck.
I mean, I can't know. That's
Yuck.
I get distracted too fast. I'm like, nope.
Let's go and take this conversation in another direction real quick.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about pee.
No.
Okay. That was the other direction. You know it was. That's
from 2-1.
Yeah. What a weird day. Man, it's.
You said you had questions and topics, so.
Well, I actually do, but we totally bypassed all of that. Man, I wonder how many of our people out there listening are struggling sleeping lately.
Dude, me. I've been sleeping so weird.
I wake up tired right now, and I'm trying to figure out.
I was talking to Abby about that the other day. She said that she's been like going to bed and waking up, like having a super hard time waking up. Me, I can go to sleep super easy, except it's been like later a little bit. I'm waking up consistently now, like 5 a.m. Every freaking morning. I'm an hour to an hour and a half ahead of my alarm.
It's so weird.
I'm old. That's what old guys do, right? They wake up at like 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just can't get back to sleep. I'm getting there.
I'm not.
I used to think my dad was crazy about that, like as a kid, because he'd always be up like
4:30.
Why are you up? I'd go right back to
genetic?
bed.
Do you think it's?
I don't know, or your body like hits a certain, like when you have kids at a certain age. I don't know.
I'm so confused by that, dude.
But like I've been sleeping so weird, and I've had weird dreams lately too.
Have you?
Yeah.
What are you dreaming? Oops. What are you dreaming about? You want a Milky Way? Absolutely, you do.
Of course I do.
I want to eat this Snickers.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't even remember now. Like I'm trying to think, but like every time I'm like, they're kind of weird.
I typically remember.
Like I dreamt a cartoon the other night.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like dreamt in a cartoon.
In a cartoon. I've got nuts in that bag over there. If you want some nuts, you got to crack them. If we are problem people today, what is wrong with us?
I got nuts in the bag too.
Yeah.
These nuts.
Wow.
Got him.
We are here today. We're sorry, people.
If you're listening
Today's
to this,
just hanging with us.
If you're listening to this, I apologize.
If this is your first episode, I promise we're not like this every time.
Go listen to last week's.
Or, yeah, I mean, just what is going on today?
Yeah. I mean,
it's a lack of sleep. It really is.
And like, I attribute a whole lot of it to stress. I don't know how COVID was for people, like quarantine and everything. My sleeping habits sucked then. Like, and it was random too, because it was like there was no rules on when you worked and when you didn't work at that point.
You know what's weird lately is like, for some reason, like I used to go to bed at like 8:30 or 9 consistently, no matter what, right? Yeah. Latest was 10:30, and now it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I not shutting down yet? What happened to my sleep patterns? I
want to be like Shane. He's like, I'm going to bed at 8. I'm like, dang.
Dude, I've been like, and I used to do that, but I get in bed and I'm like, for some reason, it just doesn't happen anymore. And I'm trying to figure out there is radiation from the sun that's hitting us more impactful, where our poles are shifting. There's crazy stuff going on. And I'm like, is the magnetic changes kind of screwing us all up as a society? Is that why we're so angry lately also? And like our brains aren't functioning properly? This is conspiracy. Dad's conspiracy.
This is like that midnight trucker radio.
Oh, that's
Have you ever
good
heard
stuff.
that station?
Yeah, that's cool though.
It's kind of interesting.
All the weirdness.
Like, I've been driving I was driving back from Boise last spring. And yeah, that was like the only station I could pick up, and I wasn't like wanting to listen.
What is that? What was that alien one with that one guy?
I can't remember.
It was late night on all, and it was Oh gosh, why is it on the tip of my tongue?
Yeah, it wasn't like, and you get like it'd go from like Michael Savage to like this random late night trucker radio, and they talk about conspiracy theories for like 3 hours, and I'm like, I'm sucked in now.
Just hanging out with the Pork Chop Express. This is Jack Burton, the Pork Chop Express, talking about aliens. I got some big creature attached to the back of my truck.
I picked up a hitchhiker. I swear to God, it was an alien.
Gosh, I can't wait for Big Trouble in Little China 2, or whatever they're doing with it.
Oh, they're making a remake.
They are, yeah.
Really, a sequel?
Wait, no, well, it's not. Well, they can't. It's going to be like it's going to be a something.
I don't know how they're redoing Coming to America.
No, they already had another one.
They already did. Okay.
And it was okay. So honestly, I know everybody said it sucked.
Yeah.
It was okay because I wasn't expecting the same thing. I expected something totally different.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Will they do another Lethal Weapon?
Probably not.
That'd be cool.
Should they?
Yes.
For fun, maybe.
Because
they might do.
Here's
okay
what
sales.
they could do, right?
Okay.
Remember that
movie talk today.
Well, yeah, but remember, Riggs had a baby.
Yes.
Remember, Murtaugh had a whole bunch of kids.
Yep.
See, I smell sequel.
They could pull it off.
Murtaugh, one of Murtaugh's kids, Riggs's kid.
I still miss that freaking TV show.
Lethal Weapon.
You didn't see it?
I did.
There was.
I didn't like.
There was Sean William Scott was the second guy. The first guy was good also.
Yeah, I didn't.
I felt like there was so much they could have done with that, and
they didn't.
It's sad that I mean I loved it, dude. I was like, oh, I want to watch this. Have you seen Reacher?
I haven't yet.
It's
on my list.
You need to freaking watch that.
It's on my
Don't
list.
watch it with your son because there is a penis in it.
Oh,
there's a dude stuck to a wall with his penis hanging out.
Weird.
Yeah, he was. Murdered.
I'm waiting for the next. I think it's next month. Season 3. Oh. Jack Ryan.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
I haven't even watched the first ones.
What?
Dude, Reacher's epic. I'm waiting for Stranger Things to come out.
You haven't seen Jack Ryan?
No.
Bro.
I'm waiting for Stranger Things. I'm waiting for...
Bro.
There's what?
John Krasinski in that is awesome.
John Krasinski?
Is it Krasinski?
I don't know what his name is. I'm not just trying to say it.
It's Krasinski.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's from The Office.
Oh yeah, that guy. You're right. I've seen it's on Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, Amazon Prime. Hit it up.
It is awesome. And he's a badass.
Dude, Reacher though,
he's kind of a badass.
Homie, you got to watch
Jim.
Watch Reacher.
Okay.
Watch the first episode of Reacher and tell me you don't want to watch more because you're watching it and everything inside of me, all the masculine, everything is like screaming. It's like a T-Rex roar.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like dinosaur sounds are just coming out everywhere.
That's Jack Ryan, where you're like, no, this quiet, nerdy guy. And then he's like, nope, he's got a past. He's got a military past. He's a badass.
Reacher?
Yeah.
And you're watching it, and he's like, he just doesn't say anything the first half of the show. Nothing. Doesn't even talk. But you see him paying attention, and you're like, huh? And then he does this thing, and you're like, what the no? And then he starts talking, and you're like, oh my gosh.
This episode is
the jail scene.
This episode is so much nothing.
I'm so sorry, people. We needed to relax a little bit, I think, is what's going on. I guess we should.
Okay, all right. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to use a question. No, because we got to talk about one thing.
Love after divorce.
We talked about kids, and then you talked about love after divorce, and we did not even touch that subject at all.
Yeah,
we went to a totally different direction. So, like, love after divorce it's tough because I think it depends on how much healing you've done.
I think love after any loss could be even death. Right? Because you still have to heal through all that process.
I can't imagine what it's like to be a widow or a widower.
Oh, dude. There's a thing called widow brain or widower brain. I guess is a dude a widower?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Call me a widow. I don't give a crap.
Call me Black Widow.
Yeah.
I'll get eaten.
But no, I mean, so it's a real thing. Widow brain where you stop forgetting things because I think you're still trying to comprehend and process everything that happened. And you don't really know that, but you can't think of stuff because it just doesn't happen.
I went on a couple dates with a widow.
Oh, tell me about the stories, Ryan.
Great person.
Did you give her cookies?
What?
I really need cookies.
I had beef jerky in the car.
No, that's okay.
Cookies sound good though.
Oh no, I'm really good.
Mom,
I know.
Cookies. But anyways, so like I went on a couple dates with a widow.
I gotta take this patch off. Hold on.
Who's a great person?
Yeah.
And
throw the box. We're good.
But it was interesting because, it's like you want to talk to the person and get to know them, and they want to know your past or whatever, or what you've been through. So it's like, yeah, I'm sharing a divorce story, right? And then so I'm like, tell me about yours. And it's like, oh yeah, I mean, there was some hurt and stuff in the relationship. And I don't want to overshare for them, but and I don't know if anybody knew that I was, so I don't know. But and she was like, telling me about like they were still married and they were still committed to each other and they had a child, and he had a bit of a drinking problem. He was also in the military.
Cheers, that makes sense.
And he was active combat. And
makes even more sense.
Said he was going to the gym one day, was at the bar, and on his way home from the bar, like didn't hear from him for like 6 hours, gets a phone call from the sheriff's department and found the vehicle completely totaled. He had been ejected and was DOA.
Dude, that sucks.
And so there was no closure, right? It was just like poof, done. And talking to that person, and then they start weeping. And that's like, I'm like, do you ever stop feeling sadness for losing your spouse?
So my best friend Nick was ejected from his vehicle when I was in high school, right? and I look at death totally different. Everybody
I lost a friend the same way too.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And I mean, he was my brother. He literally that close. Grew up together, did everything together. Called my mom, called my dad, like you name it, right? And I still think about it, and there are times when I get sad about it. And I don't know if that's even close to being in a relationship with somebody. I guess it depends on how long you've been married, right? And all this, because you devote, and it's like, I don't even understand how do you even fathom that?
Sharing your life and moving and all of the things that you do.
I don't think you can ever get over it.
Yeah. And I think you can still be mournful of that loss and still marry somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes with divorce.
And like I said, she's a great person, and I've tried to set up a couple of my friends with her, but like, it's, like at the time though, it was like, for me, it scared the crap out of me. Like just from looking, I'm like, because I was like through my stuff for the most part.
Dude, if somebody starts crying about their prior relationship, they're not ready.
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and put the kibosh to this because I can tell that they're not ready. And it's hard because it was like, yeah, you're a good person. I'm going to leave things on a good note, and I'm just going to, like, I'm sorry, but like, it's not going to work.
I think that after a loss, like a loss of life, you really got to take that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't try and jump something else. Don't try and use sexual healing.
Dude, after divorce, you need to do the same thing. But like when that person's physically absent and there was not the cleaving, I guess, of like the relationship, you didn't get to end it because of what they call in court, irreconcilable differences.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no closure. There's no say goodbye.
It was just like,
it's just done.
It's like everything that you had is just poof. It's now a memory.
And that's tough. And I mean, so with divorce though, because you gradually, you get to gradually change that. It goes out and the person's still moving or still living, right? But when they pass away, how do you? I'm
not going to try to figure it out because I don't want to explain my way through it because I don't know how
we can't.
Yeah. I mean, it would be worth bringing on somebody maybe that has the grief experience, but
I mean, there's
a few that I know
that we know directly that is very local to us.
Yeah.
My mom. But yeah.
And that might be an episode worth doing just to find out like how do you process that, because that's so tough. Yeah. And I know from talking to my aunt, my aunt lost her husband, and but like it's one thing I think when you're on in years, but it's another thing happening when it's like there's still so much life on the front end, like in front of you.
Yeah.
The suddenness of it, I think it would just be,
gosh, it's hard to even process. Like,
well, and it's the same thing of like I look at guys that, they're actually straight left, no word, know where they're at, nothing, just poof, gone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my good friends had that happen, and they have no idea where she is.
I don't know if that's easy or not.
Kids too, and the kids like just they still want to see mom, but mom's nowhere to be found. They don't know if she's dead or alive. She's just not contacting anybody. Yeah. And it's been over like 7, 8, 9 months. But
I don't know how you can do that.
Yeah, and it's hard because I don't know how you would. And it's hard. I guess you have to choose your hard.
Yeah.
Because getting divorced is hard. Getting left is hard. Losing a spouse is hard.
It's none of those you get to choose sometimes, though, right? And
so, you kind of have to choose your hard and how you respond to it. And so loving again after going through something traumatic, whether it's divorce or loss of a different kind, it takes a lot of time, and honestly, sometimes it takes being vulnerable. Like, you got to put yourself out there. Like, you got to allow yourself to be loved I
think you have to heal enough to go, okay, I think I'm ready to try.
I see the value.
And then you think I'm ready to try, and then you go, okay, maybe I'm not ready to try. Yeah. And then you heal some more.
You do that about like 3 or 4 times, and you're like, okay, now I'm ready.
I think you're doing the hokey pokey.
Yeah. And just as somebody that's now found somebody, like, I'm glad I waited.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm with this person now 2 years ago.
Wouldn't have been right. You would have been there.
It would have been a different mix. Totally. It wouldn't have been right.
You would have still been trying to replace and create and not accept.
I think that's the blessing in all of this too. When you go through the time to heal, it sounds kind of weird.
You know what I like about your story, though? What I like about you is that you went out and tested the waters, and he said, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
With different people. Some people get in that relationship and go, oh man, I need to make it work. You don't have to make it work. You don't have to accept the first person or the second person or the 15th person. It doesn't matter. No. You can date somebody for 6 months and go, it's not working. And it's okay to step away, because you individually, every one of you have value. You deserve more than that. You deserve to go, look, I know I'm with somebody, they don't really fit me right. And to accept the fact that, hey, I didn't just waste time. You don't want to have to go, I feel like I wasted your time. I'm sorry.
No, you learned something along the way.
You learned, and you both learned something from that. And you go, now I know more of what I want. And it's okay to do that. That's what dating is.
And the other part about it too is that you get to a point when you're single for so long that you know how to function as a single person. Mm-hmm. But that's really, like, I embraced it. Like, I got to a point where I'm like, no, I'm secure enough in who I am, and I'm confident in who I am as a person. I know that there's a design for marriage and a place for it, and for being with somebody, for longevity. I see the value in it. I was okay waiting for the right person. I wasn't just going to jump into it.
Mm-hmm. And I agree.
And it was nice, because once you find that right person, you're like, now I see why I waited for so long. Like, I know, now I see like why I've been patient is because I see this person that I've got great value for. And, that may, the work that I've done on me to be okay with me. If I ended up single tomorrow, would it suck? Yeah, it would absolutely suck, because I care a lot about this person, like, love this person. But in the same token, I know that I can survive as a single person.
And there's so much value in that.
But there's more value in finding the right person to partner with. But I can still function. I know that I could. So, like, that's where the confidence in who you are, I guess, comes into play. And I don't want to confuse anybody with that, but it's like, it's kind of a thought that's been bouncing around in my head. It's like, now I see why, like, people say when you find, like when it clicks, like, you get it, like, you understand it. And like, there's no way to really explain it other than, like, when you see it happen, you're like, okay, I understand now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the big thing, dude, you and Abby talk
a lot. Yeah, we communicate.
Do you ever get annoyed or bothered by it? And just be...
Not really, no.
That's what people need to be looking for.
Yeah.
The second you start talking to somebody, you're like, I can't believe they opened their mouth again. Or you're oh, why the hell? I know this already. You're like, it's the second you start having those feelings of that kind of feeling, you got to go, hey, you know what? It's just not working for me, because that's going to be your entire relationship.
Well, the cool part is usually after most of our conversations, I'm like, oh, that's why I'm with this person.
That's the way Shane is too.
Yeah.
That's what we need to look for. And I mean, I know that we want pretty and we want fit or active or whatever we're looking for, but the connection needs to be made on the, can I talk to you? I spent
intimacy, dude.
I spent 8 hours with my boss, my new boss, 8 hours and driving an hour or 2 hours total, right? We were still friends after that.
but you're ready to be like, I need silence.
No, it was totally fine.
Cool.
It was actually good, right? And so it was fun because we were both. He looked at me. He was like, "Dude, 8 hours, and I still like you." And I'm like, "Nice, right?" And that's crazy to think, but it's true. Like, dude, if you're imagine 8 hours talking to that person, you're like, "Why?"
Yeah,
and you just want them to shut the hell up. That's not going to work for you.
Yeah, and
just because you were divorced doesn't mean you have to accept whatever. You don't have to fight for something that doesn't work.
Your next relationship's not going to be like your previous one. You don't have to try to fix what you did wrong the first time.
Yeah.
Before you even get into the next relationship. And I don't want to say fix, like you should already have like worked on yourself. Let's be honest there. But I mean, like the problems that you had in your previous relationship doesn't mean that's going to be the problems that are in your next one.
Exactly. They're going to be different, but for you, take your time.
Yeah.
Learn what you want and learn where the marker is to go. I need somebody I can communicate with, because when it all comes down to it, at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy talking to that person, there is no reason to be there.
Even about the hard stuff. If you feel like your dirty is too dirty for that person.
Well, red flags. We talk about it. We've talked about red flags a million times.
Yeah.
Figure out what your flags are. As soon as you see one, back off.
Well, I mean, you need to take an inventory of like what's going on. That's the thing. Like I talked to Shane about Abby. And I was like, Shane, I got like, this is something I'm trying to rack my brain about. And I'm sure that you've been there. I was like, what do you do when you don't see a red flag? Is it a red flag when you don't see red flags?
That's what people think.
And that's what people, you start to self-destruct a relationship because you can't find it. So you're like, all right, I'm going to start poking the bear to see if the red flag pops up.
And nope, you're just, flag.
I'm going to just be so crazy that like, now I'm the red flag, right? And Shane goes, dude, that's what normal looks like. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. And I'm like, so I'm in a healthy relationship? He's like, yeah. And I'm like,
weird.
Sweet.
Dude, it's nice being in a relationship where there is no craziness, right? And no insanity. You got to be able to talk. I mean, that was one of the biggest things that I've kind of recognized in my lifetime, is that if I don't have the ability to talk to somebody and enjoy talking to them, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's hard to be
when
friends with somebody like that also.
When communication ceases, that's the biggest symptom of death is on the horizon.
Yeah. And I mean, could you imagine the animosity you build up because you don't want to speak to that person?
Oh, dude, put up walls.
Imagine being in a relationship.
You don't want to go home. I'm going to stay at my buddy's shop tonight. Like, we're going to hang out until like midnight. Hopefully she's in bed by the time I get home, so I don't have to talk to her.
The prior episode talked a lot about that, but it's like, dude, I can't fathom that. Like, oh my gosh.
And I'm not going to excuse, like, I'm going to say, like, too, you could be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not you physically, but like,
it's always me. I don't mind, whatever.
But in saying that, like, no, like, as the male, if I'm speaking to guys right now, like, you want to complain about your woman sometimes, like, and I don't have anything to complain about. Like, I'm so freaking crazy.
I don't know if it's long enough in to complain yet.
Okay, whatever.
Well, okay. Well, remember, you're not under the microscope yet, right? Because you're still newlyweds, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got that phase, your newlywed phase, and it's going to be good for a while. There might be something, but I mean, she's so chill and relaxed that I did think that if something comes up, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, whatever, cool."
No, it's like something bugs her. Like she's like, "Hey, can I talk to you about something?" And I'm like, and it used to be like for me, that was an anxiety attack because I know that I was about to get freaking jumped on.
Well, as long as it's not like that text, like, "We need to talk," and you're like,
"No,
oh my god!"
No, she doesn't do that because she knows that will freaking like make me so like
it flips everybody up. It drives me insane.
Yeah, she's so cool about it. She's like, "No," but she doesn't. So she just waits.
You get that text, you're like, "We need to talk," and you're like, and then you find out it's about dinner, and you're like,
"Yeah." She's like, and usually it's like phrase like, "Hey, can I talk to you about something?" I don't know if I'm like overthinking this or not, because she's like a self-proclaimed overthinker.
That's cool, yep.
But like, and she'll admit it the first like to everybody, but like, and that's why I love her too, though, because like she's an analyzer. Like I get it, and like, and once I know that I understand like the thought processes, there's the gears turning on. Like I'm like, I can expect consistency from a person like that.
That's cool.
And so, but like, if it's like, hey, I got to talk to you about something, and then it's like, we communicate about something that may have been either poorly explained or like skipped over or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I apologize for that. I'm going to own my fault on it. Or, she may apologize for something or whatever. And it's like, she thinks it's super bad. And it may just be like, for me, it's like a 0.005 on my scale of 1 to 10 of things that bug me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, thank you. Like for being open and honest and communicating clearly. And that they exist, guys, like, or gals, like those relationships exist.
You just have to wait for the maturity in it to happen, and that's all.
Absolutely. And you know, the coolest part was like, you know, when I first met her, it was like I went to go scope out on social media. Like, okay, well, am I going to find like some influencer? What's it going to be?
Yep.
Nope. Like, last picture update was like 2 months ago. There's no like dramatic posts like complaining and bashing on people. There was like none of that. I'm like, oh, so it's a normal person.
Nice.
Like, okay, cool. Like, so yeah, no,
we did something good out of the episode.
Yeah, we'll
Check
have
that
her
out.
we'll have her on one of these days. So,
dude, I think we're good then.
Yeah,
that was
my landing spot was good.
Yeah, we did it.
We struggled. We were the struggle bus,
but we brought it together.
We were like a Russian
Thanks
cab.
for hanging out with us. We did good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But for episode 13,
lucky number 13.
Yeah.
We'll be back for 14 unless Facebook and everybody else cancels us after this episode.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, for this episode though.
The Dadvocacy Podcast, I'm Ryan.
I am Tristan.
Thank you for joining us.
And take care.